is the Big O Show. This 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 is
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, CuttersEdgePro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that, I gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them, they like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do, they play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden, she's the girl right here. She's a badass, that's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go, so you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hey, how the hell are you all doing out there? You doing good? You hanging in there? A bye week for you Dolphin fans, of course. Others, maybe your team was in action. Who knows? But hope you're doing well. I know if you're on the crypto bandwagon, it was a good weekend overall because the bull run continues. Although I'm kind of surprised we haven't had a little, not on Bitcoin, but on kind of the alts have a little bit of a little comeback here because, man, they have pumped, boy. It was nice to see Cosmos this weekend and Avalanche, and it's good stuff. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Still lingering around 37,000. So we had a lot of our teams in action last night. Heat were in action against the Spurs. Boy, that live app, I got to tell you, I love it. I love it. I love it. We'll tell you some stories on the live app. I just sat there yesterday betting games on the Hard Rock live app, and it was just, I mean, stupendous. I got to say, live is the best way to go about things, but we'll explain. I got to start maybe, I've talked about it before because I know Sean's doing the wrestling stuff on Playback TV, right? And it said I do so much shit that I don't stop. And, you know, I'm also a father and a husband, too. So it's, you know, it's not just host and businessman and father and husband. And I also have a life, too. You know, like I went to the Fix concert on Friday night, and it was freaking amazing over at Culture Room. Had a great time. Met some of you out there, by the way. So that was also very cool. Those of you that stopped me at the Fix concert. So that was excellent. Place was packed. But you know, you got to have a life too. You know what I mean? I like to work hard, but I like to also party and have some fun, man, because it's the only way you got to balance life. But good weekend overall, and we'll talk about a bunch of stuff that went on. Dolphins, by the way, open up as a 10-point favorite against the Raiders. The Raiders have beaten up on two terrible teams in the Jets and the Giants. Now, the Jets' defense is no joke. You're going to have to deal with that defense, and that will be a pain in the ass for any team, including our beloved Miami Dolphins. Now, their offense is a complete joke, and Zach the MILF Wilson is just not, not the answer, never will be the answer. So that's where they're at a disadvantage, and that's why Miami should win those games against the Jets with no problem, actually. They should. It's not going to be easy to score on them, but they should not be able to really score on you. So you should win those games and handle those. And you should handle the Raiders because the Raiders have played two bad teams the last 2 weeks. It's been kind of a perfect storm for Antonio Pierce. Miami is a better team, so you got to take care of business. Now, 10 points is a lot of points. Over and under is 47.5. Miami is minus 470 on the money line, and the Raiders are plus 360 on the money line. And we'll talk about that matchup throughout the week, and we'll have a little fun with that. And we'll obviously plenty of Dolphins talk that we'll have. Heat got it done against the Spurs last night, 118-113. And I got to tell you, it's I'm so happy to have the Hard Rock app back because, like last night, I'll walk you through it. And the beauty is I can actually walk you through it because there's an actual, they keep the history on it. So it's actually beautiful. And so last night with the Heat, I first took the Heat minus 1.5. Okay. Did not start off well, right? So it was just like an initial bet that I put because that's what I usually do sometimes. If I like the initial bet, I'll lay an initial bet and then I'll start watching. So then all of a sudden, Wemby and the boys took this huge lead on Miami. The live line went to Heat plus 8.5. So yours truly all of a sudden says, so wait a minute. And I started the game giving you a 1.5. Now you're giving me 8.5. I'm taking it. Okay. So what I did there, I had conviction. We were down like by 12 or 13 or whatever it was. And they gave me 8.5. I said, let's go. The Heat don't make this a game, bro. And I put 4 times what I initially bet because the initial bet is always a small bet for me. Then as the game was going on, line was at 7.5 plus. I said, you know what? I'm going to lay a little bit more because the Heat's going to make this game a little closer than that. Then I took the Heat at plus 5.5, plus 4.5, plus 3.5. Because I kept getting cockier and cockier as the game was going on and the game was getting closer, but still the Heat were still the dog. And I go, the Heat's the better team. I don't care that Kyle bum-ass Lowry's not playing. I don't care, and I know he had a really good night the other night. I know that Caleb's not playing and Tyler's not playing. They still can beat him. You've got Jimmy on the court, and I've got some things I got to say about the Heat that we've got to. So I killed it last night with that. Live betting is the best, and I'm thinking of trying to do live betting and do it with playback TV with you guys to kind of show you the way, because I treat it like a stock market, and you've got to look at it like, okay, when you have value, you take value. That's kind of the way I look at, crypto. When there's value, I take value. Yesterday I took the Commanders plus 5.5 and Commanders plus 7.5, Commanders plus 6.5 because they fell behind and I knew that it was kind of a tighter game. And I said, if you're giving me all these points, I'm taking them. And I ended up winning. I took the Cards plus 6.5, 5.5 in the middle of the game. Lions, I started off laying 2.5 points on the Lions. That's how I opened the game. Pre-game, laid 2.5. Then the line started moving. And listen to me. I went with Chargers plus 12.5. Then I doubled up. It stayed there, and I said, there's no way the Chargers get blown out here. The Chargers will keep this tight. Goldie will lose at the Goldilocks. Let me not move this from my man Goldie. Goldilocks will lose this, but lose a close one. So I took Chargers at 12.5. Then I took them again at 12.5. Then I took Chargers again plus 10.5. Then I took Chargers again plus 7.5. And then I took Chargers again plus 5.5. And I got cocky and I took Chargers again plus 4.5. And guess what happened? Lions kicked the field goal and won by 3. So I won my initial bet of the Lions plus 2.5, and I won everything that I took as a dog. Because I looked at it and I said, once the game turned around and another team took a lead, and then now all of a sudden you're switching the line and you're giving me a whole bunch of points, I'm going to take it. I am killing it with this Hard Rock app. I was doing this the first go around, by the way. I was killing it with live because live, if you think what's going to happen, if you have a feeling, if you're watching it, then, you got a shot at winning. Yesterday, okay, I'm watching the Browns game and I'm thinking this is going to be a close game, right? Ravens and Browns. And so at one point, the Ravens had a big-ass lead. I took Browns plus 16.5, plus 18.5, plus 18.5, plus 19.5, plus 13.5, plus 12.5. Won them all. They won the game. You want to give me points in the middle of a game? You want to start giving me a bunch of points in a game that in the end I think is going to be a tight game? Because I know what Lamar Jackson is. I know some of you out there, I get it. There was a couple of weeks. If you watched the game yesterday, you know what Lamar Jackson is. But, you just got to watch. Problem is people don't really watch the games. They just watch like the end. They watch the numbers, and then they don't really watch the games. He's still the same guy that's inaccurate and not going to, hit it when he can. Saints yesterday, although this guy went out. So I ended up losing Saints plus 7.5, plus 6.5, plus 5.5. But I took them plus 10.5, plus 17.5, plus 13.5. So, and in that sense, I ended up, losing. I only made one bet with the Packers game yesterday. It got to a point where the Packers got 5.5, and I took it. That was the only bet I made on it. And so that's kind of what I search for in the middle of the live games. I search for bargains. I search for dogs. And if they start giving me a bunch of points, then I start killing it that way, with the points. And it's the only way really to kind of handle, the live app, because it just kind of sets you up. And I did it, like I told you, I did it with the Heat yesterday. And the Heat, I took Adebayo over 3.5 assists. He got 4. I took Heat plus 8.5, Heat plus 5.5, Heat plus 7.5, Heat plus 4.5, Heat plus 3.5, Heat minus 1.5, and I ended up winning them all because at one point you start giving me and start making the team that I like in it the dog and start giving me a bunch of points. So just a tip for you. I like trying to make you guys money, and this is kind of the way that is. I mean, I bought some Bitcoin yesterday with the winnings. After I won my money, I then sent back some to my bank account, and then I bought Bitcoin with all my winnings. So I just said, screw that. It's going to get me free Bitcoin, and I got free Bitcoin last night thanks to the Hard Rock app. So just to kind of give you, I was thinking of, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Okay. All right. I'm just a sports talk show host. That's it. I'm just a big mouth behind the mic. I don't know anything. Okay. Just so you'll know, if you follow me and all that stuff, if you follow me down crypto here, by the way, you all are, if you bought the dip with me all the way down, like Brooklyn Rob, we were talking about it back and forth, he and I on DM over the weekend, I think it was, or on Friday or Thursday, I forgot. But we were just talking about how we were so happy. Lisa, too, I was talking with her about that. How we were so happy that, throughout the last couple of years, we told you buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And it sounds crazy to keep doing it. But if you did it, you really got the real low. Like people now are getting into crypto and they think, oh, there's the low. Actually, it's not. The real low was a few months back. You know what I mean? But that's fine. It's still low enough that it's going to go, up in a big time way. But anyway, so just wanted to kind of walk you guys through what I'm doing with the Hard Rock app and a style that maybe you should look at. You know what I mean? Now, you've got to be watching the games and watching the app at the same time so you can see the fluctuations, and you've got to take advantage of them because those windows will close quickly. They'll give you a bunch of points, and if you don't act right away, it drops 2, 3, 4 points, and then you're like, damn, I could have gotten it when it was +9. Now it's +6, and I don't know if it's the same. And that's where you gotta be on top of it. But it's a cool way to make a little money on the Hard Rock app. All right, let's see, what else do we have? We got a lot of storylines going on here. The Heat beat the Spurs 118-113. It's early in the season. Miami is only 6-4, which is good, by the way, that they're over 500, which is fantastic. But it's not something that I am going to get overexcited about overall. But can I start getting you thinking about a couple things now with the Miami Heat? Things that we may have to be changing our tune on. First of all, Duncan Robinson led the way against the Spurs last night. 26 points, 4 of 7 from three-point range, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. And a little move on the baseline, a la Michael Jordan, a la Steve Tricky Smith, all that. The fake baseline go the other way. That was nice by Duncan. He has really turned himself into a much more complete player. So proud. I've talked about this many times since last year when he did it. I've been talking about it. And you know that Duncan Robinson, all of a sudden, are you all ready? Can you say it with me? Come down, join me right here. Are we all ready to label Duncan Robinson's new label? He's got a new label in town. You know what it is? It's called bargain. Yeah, I said it. This is exactly like Goran Dragic. When they first signed Goran Dragic to a contract, we were like, what the hell? You're paying him what? And then 2 years later, we saw the whole league, because the new wave of contracts were coming in. And then you saw Goran's production and you said, oh, it's kind of a bargain. Okay, the contract's more than reasonable. And we all kind of took a step back. Okay? I think we've reached that point with Duncan Robinson. The improvements he made last year was not an aberration, was not a freak, was not a one-time thing. This is who he is now. He helps you with rebounding. He plays without the ball in his hands. He'll cut to the basket. He'll feed a player. He'll play some defense. He'll stand in front of somebody. You know, he actually is an all-around player. He puts the ball on the floor now to create his own shot or somebody else. When he drove to the basket, he lost a little bit, but he got it out to the three-point line, and then which got it out to the top of the key, and then the rest is history. So he was able to, you know, facilitate and get the hell out of there, but he brought in the defense. Duncan Robinson has gone from holy shit contract to he is now a bargain. How about that? And you're paying him $18 million this year, $19.4 the next year, $19.8. Role players, again, $12 million. He's a hell of a lot better than just a role player. You know, he shoots lights out, helps you out in every other way now. Really a complete player overall. No longer a complete liability while he's out there. If he's not shooting, he used to be a total liability. I used to talk about it. Everybody used to focus on, well, he doesn't play defense. No. Forget about that he doesn't play defense. He can't put the ball on the court. He can create his own shot. He doesn't set other people up. He doesn't rebound. Now he does all of that. Now he's a complete offensive player, and he actually can do something serviceable at times on defense. Not a defensive stopper or anything like that. But he's no longer, let's say, the pushover that he was always before. Now at least he'll do something. He has become a bargain. It's pretty interesting. It's Goran Dragic all over again, because it was the same thing that happened to us with Goran Dragic. Then the other one. Now, with this, we have to pump the brakes a little bit, okay? And I've had a lot of fun with this for a long time now. And, you know, when you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm not ready yet to say I'm wrong. But is Bam Adebayo growing? So Bam Adebayo had 23 points. What was it? No, I'm sorry. What was it? 24 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals last night. Okay. Now, his average doesn't say it yet, because he averaged 20.4 points last year, 19.1 the year before, 18.7. So he's kind of been within 1.5 points for 3 years now. Okay, which it's a good average, right? But what's been my knock on him, right? Super role player, terrific, does everything, is terrific and all of that. But he is not a franchise player because he does not impose his will. 24, 26, and 30 points the last 3 games. Again, too early. If he goes back to the late teens and does what he normally does and disappears, okay, then he's back to being the super role player. But what I am watching in the last couple of games, what I saw last night, I'm watching a player that is now doing the one thing I need him to do. What did I keep saying over and over and over and over and over again for the last couple of years while I've called him a super role player? He can't be a star. Stars impose their will on teams. That's what he's doing the last couple of games. Now, again, only last couple of games. I need him to do it for a lifetime. I need him to do it every night. Not that it's going to work out for every night, because you're going to have some bad nights. That's every player in the world. That's every player in the history of the NBA. But on most nights, I need you to impose your will on people. And what I'm watching the last 3 games, I'm watching a guy imposing his will. And Jimmy was on the court yesterday. You know, it's a lot easier to you have to impose your will because Jimmy's not there and all that stuff, but Jimmy was there. And I saw a Bam that was attacking, a Bam that was aggressive. Yeah, he's still a 2-point player, and so is Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler will always be one. And I know Bam has the skill. See, unlike Jimmy, although he's shooting well from 3-point range, which is the strangest thing. But unlike Jimmy, Bam has the skill set and has a beautiful stroke to be a 3-point shooter. He just hasn't developed that yet. But maybe, just maybe, the 24, 26, 30 that I'm watching in the last 3 games. Let me see if I can see more of this now from Bam, because the Heat will take a step forward. Because if he wants to be a star now, then that's what Jimmy's been missing. He's been missing the guy that wants to be a star next to him. The guy, not wants to be, the guy that is a star. And the guy I've watched the last 3 games is the guy that I need to see on an every night basis. Not there yet. I'm not ready to say it, but at least I'm ready to admit that. You see what I've been talking about? That's what I want. That's when I tell you your franchise. Right there. The guy I watched yesterday, the guy I've watched in the last couple of games, that's franchise type playing right there. Bring it every single night. Don't be a role player every night. No. Be a force every night offensively. This is an offensive game. This is an offensive league. We're not in the 90s anymore. Ben Wallace would not be a star anymore in this league because it's just not nearly as important. It's important to play defense, but it's not what it used to be. Okay? Points. You got to score. 30, 26, and 24. That's what I'm talking about, Bam. That's what I'm talking about right there. So keep it going. That's why you're 6-4. And hopefully, even with the people missing, because you're about to get Caleb back, eventually you'll get Tyler back. And when you're full strength, you know, I don't know how long Tyler's going to stay healthy. It is what it is. But you can be a pretty special team in this conference if Bam Adebayo wants to play like what we've watched the last couple of games. Now, he's done this before, and then he goes back to being himself again and deferring. I didn't see a guy that was deferring yesterday. I saw a guy that was imposing yesterday, and that was cool. Hey, Cutter's Edge Pro, we love talking about Will and Mike and all the amazing people out there. If you've been thinking about getting landscaping for your home, for your business, for your condo complex, you name it, folks, I'm telling you, Cutter's Edge Pro, this is how you take it to the next level. And listen, the streets aren't the safest thing out there at times, right? You want to create more of an oasis in your home. Maybe your backyard doesn't have the kind of life that mine had. No life. And when Mike came in, Mike is like the Picasso of Cutter's Edge Pro. You know, he walks in and then he has this vision. You don't see it because it's only in Mike's eyes. You know, you and I don't see it. But he walks in and he just looks at your property, and all of a sudden he's just picturing where to put these trees and these bushes and this grass and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, you know, and then he'll design it. And that's the beauty of it, folks. They do all kinds of landscape design. They can help you, and they blow you away with it. And then you can have all the kind of trees you want in your backyard. You got shade. All of a sudden now you're going to want to hang out in your backyard, you know, barbecuing, cooking, relaxing, playing with the animals like we do with our dogs. Artificial turf, by the way, is the best. They do it all. Synthetic turf, irrigation, outdoor lighting, landscape design, tree trimming and removals. Please call them. Check it out. 954-472-0622. Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. You see the videos all the time here. You're going to love it. Cutter's Edge Pro. And go to the Instagram page. That will blow you away so you can see the work firsthand. CuttersEdgePro.com. All right, let's see what we got here. Who's first? Steve Chapman is in the house. Says, from what I saw last night, Dolphins should handle the Raiders. Yeah, they should. I don't know about easily, but they should handle the Raiders. You know, I'm with you there. No doubt. That offense should not give them any kind of trouble. If Buffalo loses tonight, this was the greatest bye week in Dolphin football history. Yeah, a lot of the people you needed to lose lost. You're right. You are correct, sir. Jamie Zorria in San Jose says, I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's a great week. Looking forward to seeing this team's progression. Jamie Zorria reminds everybody also to smash the like button. Please smash it. Brian Walters is in. Dolphins versus Jets game is free live stream on Amazon. I think I saw it right. Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. They want to entice you so that way you can buy it. Ronaldo is in. Says the Raiders are playing hard. Trap game. What are your thoughts? They should win. Take care of business, my brother. Manolo Rivera. Think Blue Dodgers. John Rouse is in the house. Man of 1,005 holds. Luis Berriel. John Padilla. Reggie D. Willie is in Colombia. Thank you, Willie, for the kind words. You are the rock star of sports talk in the 305 world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Ray Sosa's in. What a win by the Heat last night, being down by 19. Thank you for being down by 19, because that's when the app said, well, you guys are a plus this and plus. Give me points. Give me points. Give me points. True Fin reminds everybody that he farted, and it smells like pig's feet. And he didn't even eat pig's feet, which is kind of weird. Nico Jones is hoping everybody has a great day. And great day for the Finns. Just need Buffalo to lose tonight. That's right. Jay Gelfin is in. One-Eyed Jack. Reggie D. Can Denver pull off the upset? Yeah, they can. I mean, anybody can upset anybody in the NFL. Will they? Well, we'll see. Nizzle is in. Gus 1388. Cash the Jeweler. Yep, Duncan Robinson is finally earning his paycheck. Yeah, he's a bargain now. Reggie D is in. Dan Campbell and D'Amico Ryans, who's the coach of the year. I'm going to go D'Amico Ryans because it's a rookie quarterback, and it's a team we didn't expect them to be. What are they, 5-5, right? You see, I wrote it down here when I go around the NFL. They're 5-4. Wow. Same record as Cincinnati. So I'll go with D'Amico Ryans. But Man Campbell is doing what I never thought he could. So I got to give him love. Alex Palenzuela's in. Drago's in. Andy Jackson. More ads than General Hospital. Well, you know, what do you want me to do, bro? We're professionals here. You know, Andy, nobody's putting a gun to your head, my brother, to watch. You can get the fuck out of here if you want, dude. Nobody's forcing you to be here, my brother. You can haul ass. All right? Insiders aren't on here for free. Sean doesn't work for free. I don't work for free. This is a real job. You're not watching some schmuck in his basement because he's living in mom and dad's house. These are actual professionals here. We actually get like real information. Okay, we don't act like we have information. We actually get real information, and we give you real insight. So, you know, that's how it goes. It goes with ads. You know, without those people, we have no show. So your ass wouldn't be watching the best show in South Florida that gives you the best insight on all your South Florida teams right here, dude. Okay, so. You know,
We make people money on this show, something no other show in South Florida does. We do a lot of shit here, bro. And it doesn't come for free. So, if you don't like it, you can haul ass. Seriously. And I'll happily block your sorry ass. There you go. I love these schmucks that know nothing about this and then want to run their mouths and say stupid shit like Andy Jackson. Duncan Robinson has evolved. Yes, he has. Man of 1,005 holds. Brian Landis is in. Chad is in. Jamesville is in. Alex Palenzuela. Billy Shaw. Let's watch the Bills lose. We can complete the infinity gauntlet of losses that helps us this weekend. That's true. Any wins on the Hard Rock app? Oh, so many wins. Producing Bitcoin for me. Just watched some of the Fix Live at the House of Blues 2023 this morning. Amazing. They still have it after. Oh, yeah, it's the same band. They've all been together for 40 years, and they sound absolutely amazing. Had a great time. Met them all, too. Met every one of the band members also this weekend on Friday over there at the Culture Room. The Canes lost, but there were positives to take from the FSU game. You know how I talked about it in the post-game show. Let me go over lightly on this because I got interrupted. We had some technical difficulties, and I got interrupted. It got knocked out, and we were knocked out for a few minutes, and I was trying to make a point. And then when we came back, we had Manny, and I don't think I was able to finish my point even at that moment. So I'm going to say this. What I said, a little bit of what I said on Saturday night, you guys can watch the whole thing. But I don't blame the kids at all on Saturday. I thought the kids did a phenomenal job overall. I think, unfortunately, this program does not have a head coach that's a difference maker on game day. They don't have the kind of coaching staff that puts their players in an advantageous position more often than not. They don't have the kind of coaching staff that is going to constantly outsmart their opponents and the coaching staff on the other side of the field. They are going to survive basically on the talent, and if the talent happens to make plays, then they're in it. That defense, that offensive line, they played their asses off. Okay? That poor kid Williams left everything out there. He's limited. He is what he is. You know what I mean? And there were bad calls on both sides, so please don't start with that shit. Williams didn't even get the first down. That was a sympathetic first down they gave Williams. He didn't get the first down. Okay? And Miami got away with a hold downfield that if the guy doesn't hold them, it's probably a touchdown. Okay? So before you go to the safety that clearly was a safety and, a couple of bad calls against Miami and a couple of bad calls against FSU. So I don't even want to hear any of that shit. Okay? My problem is with Mario Cristobal. He's just not a difference maker. I commend the kids on Saturday. I was actually very impressed. I thought it was going to be an absolute ass kicking. Oh, I know what I was going to say. That I was thinking about it. The University of Miami football program right now, okay, it's like a ship in the what's the name of that sea? Oh, God. Oh, man. Now I'm forgetting this this really violent part of the ocean. Now I'm brain farting. I hate it. It's like a really violent part out in Europe. Jesus. Can't make the point without the damn name of it. No, the abyss is like, that's when you go in to the bottom. Oh, damn it. Oh, God. No. Thank you all. You're coming through with some stuff there, but it's not. It's the name of a sea. Not Bering, not Iceland. No, not Pacific, and not the North Sea. Thank you. Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you. So the North Sea is about, I don't know, 330, 360 feet deep, right? And in the North Sea, it's not very deep, the North Sea. And so the North Sea is very violent. And because it doesn't have a lot of depth, you know, the waves at times can be brutal, okay? There's been rogue waves that have hit, you know, oil vessels in the North Sea, 70 feet, 80 feet, okay? And, you know, rogue waves are something that has been finally proven over the last few decades. There was always, you know, what's it called? Rumors about it and stories and all that. But finally, they've been able to track those kind of things nowadays with technology and everything. And so the North Sea is super wicked, right? Like the Pacific Ocean is 6 miles deep. Comparisons, okay? All right, North Sea, 330, 360 feet deep. Pacific Ocean is 6 miles, okay? Huge difference. So, to me, the Canes are like a ship, okay, in the North Sea. And it's just fighting, and it doesn't, and it's just one of those things, and it doesn't have the kind of captain that is really leading it through the you know, trying to get through the North Sea and trying to sail through there with, you know, the most professional person possible to get you across. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I feel like when I look at the Canes. They're like a ship that's in the North Sea getting all rocked, and they just don't have the guy that is helping his crew out to actually get through it with the least amount of damage possible and the least amount of hell possible. Why? Because he's just not a great navigator. You know what I'm saying? And that's my problem with Mario Cristobal. You know, I'm a Mario guy. I support Mario, but I have to admit he is not even close to what you need on game days. He is not the captain you need for your ship. Because if he's captaining your ship, it seems like it's rudderless and it's just at the mercy of all the waves in the North Sea. And it's just rough sailing. Dude, I said 7 to 8 wins. You know, when they got the Texas A&M win, I go, wow, I may be wrong here. But apparently, I'm not going to be right again either. I don't know if they win one of the next two. They're 6-4, right? They're 6-4, yeah. And they've got Louisville and BC. Louisville at noon on Saturday and BC the following Saturday at noon. I don't know if they get their 7th win. I know they're not going to get 8. They're not going to win both games with any quarterback. I don't care who the quarterback is at this point. Doesn't really matter, unfortunately. But I said 7-8 wins. You know, they're barely going to get there. And it's just not a good. We don't have a good captain on this vessel, and that's why you're losing to Middle Tennessee State and you're losing to Georgia Tech. So what Mario Cristobal is doing is coming up with signature losses every year now. We used to ask for our coaches to come up with signature wins. He comes up with signature losses. Yeah. It's like when you're a fan of the Canes football team, it's like getting hit by a rogue wave every year. Whole deck is just all screwed up. Tables and chairs are sliding all over the place. Piano's getting smashed against the wall. You know, People are falling. They're holding on in the middle of hallways. You think they're in a fun house. You know, that's what we got with Mario Cristobal. Signature losses. Anyway. Big O, are you doing a watch party for the Jets game after Thanksgiving? I am doing a Dolphins pre- and post-game show. I don't know yet if we're going to be somewhere. This Sunday, we're at Walk-Ons for the Raiders game. So you can join us, Anthony, at Walk-Ons in Kendall for the pre- and post-game, and all throughout. We'll have prizes and giveaways, all kinds of stuff. So join us this Sunday for the Dolphins and the Raiders at Walk-Ons in Kendall. So there you go. And we'll tell you about the Jets game next week if something does end up happening. Okay? Let's see. Big O, there are a lot of stat line world champions. Sometimes an incomplete pass is the best thing that can happen on a play, but it looks bad on Monday morning. I was watching the Ravens-Browns game when the Browns were the only down by 1 point, and I knew Lamar Jackson wasn't going to win it for the Ravens. Yeah, he's overthrowing people constantly. It's just it's a rinky-dink offense. It's just really tough to prepare for during the regular season because it's a running offense, but eventually you force the kid to try to beat you with his arm, and he's never going to beat you with his arm. Once in a blue moon, he will, because an athlete will, have a hot week, but he can't do it every week. Never even come close. I would argue that our defense is better than the Jets' defense. Yeah, well, you would lose that argument, Alex Ruiz, every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Don't lie to yourself, bro. Their pass rush is way better than Miami's. Way better. Their linebackers are better than Miami's. You want to compare secondaries? Then we got Miami there, but they're better, bro. Don't be the butthurt Dolphins fan, bro. Don't be the butthurt Dolphins fan. Don't be the butthurt Dolphins fan that you're sounding, unintelligent because you're bitter and all that, because you don't want to give the Jets any credit because they're the Jets. And in the end, the Jets have a great defense, dude. It's a great defense. And it's deep. Okay? So, you can act like the fan if you want, dude, but it's embarrassing. James Vivinetti is in. Tim Eason is in. J-Town is in. Yader Castro is in. Big O, it's all about the Lakers. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Howie Dewitt says, big thing for Bam is being able to develop that jumper, make big guys have to come up and open the lane. He's got a jumper. Bam can shoot from wherever the hell he wants. Jay Gelfin says, I live in a rental community that looks 100% better since they hired Cutter's Edge. I even met Mike. There you go. Karoon says, not going to lie, the 49ers scare me when healthy. Well, their defense is sick. Yeah, they spanked the Jags. I lost that one. I took the Jags plus a bunch of points, and they still lost. That one was bad for me. I still ended up on top because I hit on all the other ones. But that was the one game that did not go well for me yesterday, was the Jags. Big O, at this point, in my opinion, Spo is the best coach in sports. Pretty much. I know he's the best coach in the NBA, bar none. But if you want to give him best coach in the business, I have no problem with that, dude. I can't tell you how much Spo has saved Riley's ass over the last few years. Okay? And I love Riley to death. Riley makes his own, his own biz in my book, boy. I'll never want to get rid of Riley ever, no matter what. And I know he has not had his fastball lately. But even without having his fastball, they're going to the finals and still the Eastern Conference. And he's the one that created this culture and that coach. And so, I'll never give up on Riley ever. But I also am not going to lie and bullshit. Okay, Riley has not had a fastball lately for a while now. But Spo has like 8 fastballs. He's the best, dude. He is the effing best. He makes everything better than what it really is. There's not another coach in the NBA that could have ever done what Spo did the last 4 years. Not Popovich, nobody, dude. Not Rick Carlisle, nobody. No one does what Spo did the last 4 years. No one. And that guy's at another level. All by his lonesome. So good. The Raiders are a talented roster. It can't be taken lightly. A good physical defense and a good running game. Brian, they got to win the game. Okay? Don't try to make it sound like it. They're better than the Raiders. Win the damn game. They beat the Jets and the Giants. No offenses there at all. Dolphins have, if not the best, one of the top 3 offenses in the NFL. The Jets and the Giants don't even come close to that. Not their quarterbacks, not their offensive scheme, not their talent. It's not even close. Miami should handle the Raiders. Will it be easy? No, the Raiders will play tough, but they should handle them. Boring weekend without the Dolphins. Well, Ricardo, it all depends. If you got crypto, a little music in your life, and then the Hard Rock app, there's a lot of things to do. You got to pick up some stuff. Go to a concert or two. Will you be on the betting app for today's game? Can you go live, Big O, to see how you do the betting app? Do we have a game tonight? I don't think so. We have Charlotte tomorrow night. I'll do it tomorrow night. How about that? Oh, I could do it for the Dolphins for the Denver game. I could do that. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. Maybe I could do that. Do I do it straight through StreamYard, or is it something different now that I have to do it through, Sean?
What are we trying to do, the playback, or are you just trying to just?
Yeah, that's where I would do the playback TV. I would do it. I wouldn't do this betting stuff on our thing.
Playback TV, then you send out the link from Playback TV. It doesn't go through StreamYard at all. It's all straight through playback.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Let me see if I could do it tonight on Playback TV. Show you guys how I do it for those of you that have the Hard Rock app, and maybe we can do it together and kind of show you how I've been making a little extra money, getting a little extra Bitcoin for it too. Let's see. The Raiders are being talked up the way the Finns once were when they've beaten a bunch of nobodies. I don't know who's talking them up, Alex. I mean, they beat the Jets and the Giants, bro. There's nothing to talk up. I mean, and it's not like they routed those teams, right? Didn't they just what'd they win yesterday? Where was it? 16-12. I mean, come on, man. Dolphins appearances on Hard Knocks will begin November 21st. And 9 p.m. episodes will air every Tuesday for a duration of the potential Dolphin postseason run, according to news release. All right. Let's see. Morning O. Panthers and Heat had a great weekend. Canes did Canes things. Dolphins hopefully got some rest and health. It's a beautiful thing. Well, the Canes did win, but it was in basketball. Not in football. Let's see. Yeah, Big O talks for hours nonstop, and someone is complaining about some ads. Go on the radio show and compare. Yeah, I know. I've been talking. I just talked for 50 minutes straight. I mean, that guy's a jackass. I should have just blocked him for being a dumbass. Like, I haven't had a commercial for 50 minutes. Who does that?
Who talks for 50 straight minutes? Nobody does that shit, dude. Nobody does that. Most people can't actually talk for 50 straight minutes. You know what I mean? So it's just we really don't have a lot of commercials. That's just to start off the show. And then when I take it at the top of the hour, it's a minute or two or something to just start the next hour. That's it. So that's why I should block the guy just for being ignorant. Richard Mack says Mario's coaching is what's going to hold this team back. You can see the talent is there and more talent is coming, but this is always going to be stuck in his coaching doesn't improve. I don't know if it will improve because he's kind of set in his ways. Yeah. North Sea is one of the most treacherous seas in the world for ships to navigate in the North Sea. It's often rough, stormy, and covered by thick fog. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Did you know that it was only like 300 and something feet deep? It's another thing a lot of people don't know about the North Sea. And that's the reason why it's so rocky. You know, because it doesn't have a lot of places for the water to go. And so when it goes, it's going over the top because there's nothing under, you know. So it's tough. Yep. Nico says there's zero creativity with this offense. It's run up the A-B gap, then throw a crossing route to Restrepo or back shoulder to Young. That's it. No reverse, wide receivers in motion, pass to tight end. No, it's ridiculous. It's either your players are the dumbest players you have on earth because they can't learn a damn thing, or you're not creative enough as a coach, or you're not a very good coach that you can coach up some, variety, because there is no variety in that offense. And get Jimbo Fisher. $76 million to be, hey, Sean, you're fired. Here's $76 million. Jesus, that is awesome. Oh, have you given up your faith in Mario bringing the U back? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet, but we're getting there. Give me another year or two, and I'll give him. I got to give him some time. I got to be fair. But I'll tell you this: if it's at this pace, there's no hope. That I'll tell you. You know me, bro. I don't bullshit. I don't bullshit, Troy. Right now, Mario gives me zero hope that he'll ever turn it around. He'll load it up with talent, but he gives me zero hope because he's not a good coach. Great man, great recruiter, super hard worker, super decent human being. Everything about Mario is fantastic except his game day coaching. And that's a problem. That's a problem. That's like a talk show host that can't talk. That's kind of tough. That's kind of tough, right? A talk show host that can't talk. True Fin Fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. First one of the day. The wild cards are all coming from the AFC North. Could be it. You could be right, sir. Oh, since we are friends, do you think I need help if I've watched the clip of O'Brien yelling at Mac Jones on a loop for 12 hours straight, and I feel that it gets better every time? Oh man, I just what I can watch on a loop is what I posted yesterday after they brought in Bailey Zappi and got zapped, and it didn't work, and it ends with an interception, and then the game ends as they move over to Bill Belichick on the sidelines. And on the sidelines, the old man is doing one thing. And I put it on a loop because I can't get enough of it. Just can't. Just can't. I mean, this is beautiful. You know, this is like, oh my God, I drafted this guy. And then I put in this other guy. I got Mac Jones. I got Bailey Zappi. I got the owner looking at me up there like I am a complete dunce. I can't do anything. Tom Brady left me, and I can't do anything whatsoever. I'm as useless as a turd in a punch bowl. I mean, I just saw that yesterday, and that was the greatest right there. It was fantastic. It's just that now, Dougie, I can watch this on a loop. In fact, I think I'm going to make an NFT of this bitch right here, and I'm going to frame that NFT. Okay, once we get the technology, okay, ready to go, and Elite artificial intelligence token, they know how to bring NFTs to life. And I'm going to say, make this NFT of Bill Belichick for me so I can frame it and have it right here in my sports room and just have that in a loop, have him just grab his head and look down. I mean, this had to have been the greatest scene ever for Dolphin fans right there. Watching this man suffer. It's like all the karma karma wasn't catching up to him because Tom Brady was still on his team. So like the Lord didn't want to give it to him, right? Okay, Spygate. We've got I don't know what we call the Cincinnati Spygate one, but it was another spying incident with Cincinnati. Then we had Deflategate. Then we had Tuckgate. And we had all these cheating things that have gone on with this guy, right? And then he's also treated people like shit his entire life, right? He treats the media like shit. And because he's winning, his shit don't stink. So people have to tolerate it. So now they don't really have to tolerate it anymore. Now it's like, hey, screw you, Bill. Your shit don't fly anymore. Now your shit stinks. Now you're as bad as you're as bad as Joe Philbin, dude. You're Joe Philbin with the little knit hat on right now, is what you are. I mean, seriously, there's not much of a difference between your ass and Cam Cameron. You're like the same clowns we've had here before we had Mike McDaniel. So now karma is setting in. It's giving him a swift kick in the ass, and now he's getting thoroughly embarrassed every week. And, this is a moron that also embarrasses himself by putting Matt Patricia as his offensive coordinator last year, by thinking that he's the smart guy by not having a backup quarterback and cutting Bailey Zappi, and then having to bring back Bailey Zappi, and then having to use Bailey Zappi, thinking that Bailey Zappi would help you when Mac Jones can't help you. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this right here. I know it's freezing up a little bit here, so it kind of sucks. Sometimes, in fact, if I minimize it, it might work a little better, actually. Let's see. If I minimize it, it might just, see, there we go. I should have minimized it for you guys. Because, see, now we can just see it in a beautiful loop. Oh, my God, I suck. Oh, my God, I drafted Mac Jones. Oh, my God, I've got Bailey Zappi as a backup. Oh, my God, I had Matt Patricia as my offensive coordinator. Oh, my God, Bill O'Brien and the Dimples aren't doing anything. Oh, my God, I traded for Devontae Parker and gave Miami a third rounder. Oh, my God, Gronk is not here anymore. He's jumping out of planes in a parachute. Oh, my God, Kraft is going to fire me. Oh, my God, my girlfriend doesn't want to screw me anymore. Oh, my God, I'm the laughing stock of the NFL. Oh my God, I'm no longer the GOAT. Oh my God, all those titles are fraudulent because they're all belong to Tom Brady. I mean, it just goes on and on. Just doesn't end. It's a beautiful thing. This is satisfaction. Satisfaction at its highest. All right, let's do something that Andy Jackson hates. Let's take a very quick break for hour number 2 of the Big O Radio Show.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Number 2 of the program. Appreciate all of you out there. As always, thank you for listening in. Hey, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. And, of course, we love our guy out there, Alan Blanco. He does an awesome job custom printing and embroidery. 980 West 22nd Street in Hialeah. And if your company, your club, your school, you need uniforms, hats, shirts, whatever it is, call our guys at 3A Graphics, 786-618-1443. Please support the amazing sponsors that support our platform here, 786-613-1443. They do an excellent job custom printing and embroidery. Love it. Heat last night over the Spurs, 118-113. They've got Charlotte on the road on Tuesday, 7 o'clock tip for that one. Panthers, they get by the Blackhawks 4-3. They're 9-4-1 on the season. Bob had 23 saves. Reinhardt had 2 goals and 2 assists. Rodriguez and Kachuk both had 2 assists in the game, and Verhaeghe also added a goal. Tomorrow, show me the way to San Jose. They will take on the Sharks, 10:30 on the road there on the ice. Also, Friday night, Miami defeated UCF in basketball, 88-72. They're 2-0.
Poplar with 23 points and 4 rebounds. Omir, 19 points, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, and a block. Tonight, UM is taking on FIU, 7 o'clock. All right, there we go. January 3rd, by the way, ACC play starts for Miami. Over the weekend on Saturday, men's football team lost to FSU 27-20. Mario Cristobal's group drops to 6-4. FSU improves to 10-0. Saturday at noon, they will take on Louisville, and that'll be on ABC. And then tonight, we got NFL action, the Broncos and the Bills, and kickoff will be at 8:15. The Bills are favored by 7. The over and under is 47.5. That's your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right? All right. Remember, our pregame show starts at 11 a.m. on Sunday as we get you ready for the Dolphins and the Raiders, and we are at Walk-Ons in Kendall. So get your asses down there. Join us for that game and a bunch of prizes and giveaways. Okay? All right. What else do we have that we want to talk about here on the show? Let me see. Got some things. Get to it in a second. By the way, I see you got Top Gun up. Let's talk a little Top Gun because we love talking about Top Gun indoor range, folks. The customer service is awesome, and I go there myself, so family atmosphere is there. One of the things that I'm going to do with my wife and my daughter, we're going to go and we're going to start using the archery because they have, besides having the latest in air quality and targeting systems and all of that, but they've also got archery. They're the only indoor public archery in Dade County, folks. They've been around for 4 years. They've got mini leagues and mini tournaments also going on weekends there. So go check it out. Top Gun Indoor Range, 12015 Southwest 114th Place. It's right off of 120th and the Turnpike. And if you've ever been there, when you get off 120th and the Turnpike, there's this little strip shopping center that's there where Odyssey Arcade is. Well, it's in the warehouses right behind that. Okay? So it's awesome. They've got 18 lanes, 25 yards, which they have the longest distance of indoor ranges in Dade County. And, gentlemen, we got to look out for our ladies. And we can't be with them all the time. Well, they teach self-defense classes there. And it's time for our ladies to learn, okay? They've got self-defense classes in English and en Español. Very important. From basic pistol to concealed weapons courses, and again, available also in Spanish. They've got the tactical nights competitions with bowling pins and all kinds of stuff, and all kinds of memberships too. The better the membership, the higher the discounts, from gun cleaning all the way up to even unlimited shooting. So get on down there to Top Gun Indoor Range, 12015 Southwest 114th Place, and make sure you tell them that Big O sent you, man. Tell Steve, all the great people out there, that Big O sent you, and I promise you that they will take care of you, okay? Top Gun Indoor Range. All right. Green Lion says, I'll be at Walk-Ons for my Big O Show shirt. There we go. We'll be giving away plenty of Big O Show shirts. Do I have any here? No, I don't have any here with me right now. But we've got them in aqua and orange and black and gray. So we will be giving away Big O T-shirts over at Walk-Ons. All right? All right. Big O, in your opinion, who is the best wide receiver in Dolphins history? For me, it's Clayton. I would probably go with Mark Clayton. Yes, Mark Clayton would probably be my number one. Warfield is right there with him. I mean, Warfield was a sensational athlete. But Mark Clayton's physicality in the air was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. His body control was awesome, and he had hands that were like Jimmy Butler, like vice grips. Really good. Really physical player. Not only was he athletic, not only was he explosive, not only was he clutch, not only was he great, but he was also a physical player, and he was not a big receiver. 5'10", 5'11" or something, but he could sky like a 6'3" guy. He was a freak of an athlete. That guy used to squat like 500 pounds. Okay? I mean, Mark Clayton was a stupid, crazy athlete. And what I mean by stupid, crazy, I mean his athleticism was just sick. I know Tyreek's speed is sick, but Mark Clayton was, man, he was a monster. So Clayton would be my number one. Yeah. Let's see. I would take Irving Fryer over most often receivers with the exception of Warfield, Duper, and Clayton. Yes. I agree with that. Irving Fryer was fantastic. Clayton was outstanding. I'm not sure you can build a really strong argument against him outside of Hill, but he doesn't have enough of a resume here yet to overtake Clayton and Warfield. Yep, that's true. Dolphin players with the most receiving yards in franchise history, Mark Duper, all time. I guess this is a subject with you guys now. David Boston, that's funny. Watching Duper and Clayton together, always felt Clayton was the better. Yeah, of course. Duper was the speed guy. Clayton was the all-around guy. Clayton could do whatever he wanted on the field. If you wanted to catch short passes, or if you want to catch deep passes, if you want to catch it over the top, if you want to catch it in the air, anything he wanted to do. He was an athlete, bro. Besides a great receiver, he was a great athlete, dude. Love Clayton. Is there an online store to buy Big O merch? That's coming. That's coming very soon. Very soon. We're right around the corner. Okay? We're right around the corner. It's gonna happen. You just gotta. I've been telling you for a while about this, but now, you know, I wasn't getting it in gear. It's coming now. It's all rolling now. We've got 3A Graphics working on it, and then I've got my man John, who is designing everything. He gave me some of the initial designs, so we're pretty close to sending stuff to be printed, and pretty soon we'll have stuff for you guys to purchase. Okay, so, and I appreciate all of you out there, but I'm working on it now. Problem is that everything is a little slower than normal because it's just me and Sean. You know. Let's see. What about Jarvis Landry doesn't even belong in that conversation. Not even in the conversation. Jarvis Landry doesn't even hold a candle to O.J. McDuffie, and we're not putting O.J. McDuffie with Warfield, Clayton, Duper, and Tyreek Hill. And McDuffie is one of the best receivers ever in Dolphin history. Jarvis Landry doesn't even come close to those guys. Doesn't come close to Irving Fryer. It's a lot. There's several receivers that I would take over him. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. Give me a Rondé Gadsden over him because I know I'm going to score a bunch of touchdowns. You know, I could throw it to a Rondé, and you know, if a Rondé had an elite quarterback his entire run, oh shit. You know, and he wasn't a great athlete, but you weren't going to stop him physically. You know, that's the thing. So there's a lot of guys I would take over Jarvis Landry. Jarvis was a tough cat, but a limited receiver. You know, he wasn't going to be ever in other words, he was the guy that was inefficient is what I would call, because you would have to throw it too much to him to get to 100 yards. You know, it's just he didn't have a good yards per clip catch. You know, Big O, most in here never saw Warfield. He was an amazing receiver and was key in spreading out the defense to allow the running backs to work. He terrorized cornerbacks. Yeah, Warfield and Clayton they're right there, dude. Those guys were amazing, absolutely amazing. I feel like the Cats are poised for another deep playoff run. You know, I talked about the Heat. Let me talk a little bit about the Panthers, and can I say something about the Panthers that I really appreciate? Okay, and I really appreciate. You know what? Let me generalize this. I appreciate the Heat because the Heat now are 6-4. So they're now building a record on the positive side instead of burying yourself and then having to, sneak into the playoffs and then play out of the play-in round, which hopefully they avoid that and they continue this climb. But the Panthers, the same shit. You're 9-4-1. You're third in the conference. I looked it up. You got Boston at number 1 with 24, the Rangers with 23. They're third in the conference right now with 19. I love the fact that the Panthers are also not falling behind. And then they got to kill themselves to sneak into the playoffs and then get to the, try to do what they did last year and all that kind of stuff. Make it easier on yourself. And that's something that both of these teams are finally doing. And I like that the Heat is now turning the corner, and hopefully, this is a brutal stretch here. And if you could continue to take care of business in this stretch and maybe come away with a winning record in this road trip, which is a brutal road trip, that would be amazing. But I do want to point out that I appreciate the Panthers' 9-4-1 start, okay, and third in the conference, because I was really worried with the injuries early on, especially on defense with some of the guys. I was kind of worried how they would be defensively. Bob, I don't know what we're going to get from Bob at times. He's been pretty good overall, and they have been pretty damn good. And offensively, they've got a lot of options too, and they're coming through in a big-time way. So kudos to the Panthers for the hot start and putting themselves in a nice position, and kudos to the Miami Heat for now turning things around. I think they've won 4 in a row, I believe, or something like that. So that's another thing that I really like that I'm seeing. And hopefully, instead of killing yourself to barely get in and then you've got to play from the bottom part of the playoffs, man, let's go. Start setting yourselves up. And I see the Panthers are doing that. Hopefully the Heat is well on their way. So I will say that has been pleasant to see with the Panthers and with the especially with the Panthers at 9-4-1, and now maybe the Miami Heat turning the corner a little bit here and building on their record too. They need that also, man, big time way. Let's see, what else do we have? Warfield didn't get enough attempts back then. The Dolphins were a running team, devastating running team. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Panthers and Heat have shown some toughness. Yes, they have, green line. Lisa's in the house. Happy Monday. Just landed in the 305. All right, Lisa. I'm sure I'll see you sometime later on in the week. Warfield played in an era where DBs could literally mug wide receivers. In today's era, he would have 100-plus catches every year. Definitely. Oh, I just watched the Finns Hard Knocks promo trailer, and it's straight fire. It's on YouTube. I'll check it out. Listen, man, I think it's going to be a good thing. I said it before. I know people have gone on the negative on this, and I know because of what happened to us last time, but we had Joe Philbin, we had Jeff Ireland, we had the Parcells, we had all that dysfunction. You know what I mean? We have a team that people want to be a part of. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think people are going to see our team and they're going to say, players are going to say, hey, yo, agent, are you watching this? I'm a free agent. Get my ass over there. I want to play with those guys. I want to play for that coach. I think they did the Dolphins a huge favor. They're going to see the facilities are the best in the business. They're going to see that they do everything first class down here. They're going to see a coach that relates to players. And I think they're going to see a winning team down the stretch because the defense has turned the corner. And if the defense has turned the corner, then I think the offense is only going to get better. So I'm on the other side of this completely, where the people that are nervous, remember, the problem we have here, it goes back to what I keep telling you, leave the past behind. The dysfunction is gone. The bad coaches are gone. The bad decisions are gone. Now you're making overall pretty damn good decisions. You're making really good moves. You've got good coaching. You've got a really exciting team. You got to let the past go. And then that's what happened with when you heard that we were on Hard Knocks. You're thinking of Joe Philbin, and you're thinking of a guy picking up papers from the ground, and you're thinking of a stupid-ass GM telling Peter King, we've got 3 4s and 5s, and we got to go, 4 5s and 6s. We got to go find 1 2s and 3s. We have 1 2s and 3s and 4 5s and 6s. Okay? We got it all. We don't need to tell Peter King that anymore. He could just look for it himself. We got 2 1s, not a 1. Okay? So you got to let it go. You got to let it go. You got a real quarterback. You got to let it go. They did the Dolphins a favor. The bandwagon for the Dolphins is just going to get bigger and bigger all around the world because people are going to like this team. So, you want to do us a favor? Bring it on. Love it. And that's what they did for us. They brought us, they gave us a favor. Let's talk about Baptist Health. By the way, folks, a place where, listen, I had my colonoscopy there a couple months back. I was an idiot. I waited till I was 56 years old. And if you're already in your late 40s, you should already be having one. And by the way, it isn't embarrassing. It isn't intrusive. It isn't uncomfortable. Nothing. They do it in an incredibly professional manner. Use that QR code. Folks, if you're dealing with an injury right now that's keeping you from doing what you love to do, all right, call the experts at Baptist Health. They are the official sports medicine provider of the Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, FIU, FAU, Orange Bowl, Miami-Dade County Public Schools, Miami Open Tennis, Miami Marathon, half marathons. And folks, we got hospitals everywhere. We got a new one that just opened up at Hard Rock Stadium. It's open to the public. Got the Doctors Hospital, the original there in Coral Gables at 5000 University Drive. Well, we've also got the main hospital. That's where I've been to very many times for my stents in my heart, for my colonoscopy, for my wife's broken jaw. My daughter was born there. My wife had her colonoscopy there. That's at, of course, 89th and Kendall Drive. We've got Boca Regional at 800 Meadows Road, that is. We've got Bethesda East and West in Boynton Beach. For you, our friends in the Keys, we've got Mariners Hospital at Tavernier Key, Fisherman's Community, and Marathon Key, so we don't forget it. All throughout South Florida, from the Keys all the way up to the Palm Beaches, baby. It is baptisthealth.net/ortho. All right. Let me see what we got. Don't forget, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. That's Cash Big O Show. Let me see what's going on, by the way, in the markets, too. We need to check out the markets. First of all, right now, the Dow is up 22 points. S&P's down nearly 4 points. And the NASDAQ is barely down 1,000th of a point. So that really isn't much. Kind of stagnant. How are we doing in crypto, huh? What's the crypto market looking like right now? Let me see what Bitcoin is at. Is it still 36,929? So it's hanging right around the 37,000 mark. Not bad, not bad. Ethereum is over 2,100. It's up 3%. Polygon is up 6%, 6.5% at 89 cents. Cosmos is almost at $10, up 5.5%. So some things are going well. And the Solana run is crazy. $56 right now, down 3%. But it hit $60 at one point.
impressive. Absolutely impressive. So, an Avalanche has been on a crazy ass tear. In the last month, Avalanche is up 91.72, so nearly 92%. Chainlink in the last month is up 111%. These are some of the ones that we've been talking about for a long, long time. Cosmos, the last month, it is up 51%. Polygon in the last month is up 76%. So for those of you that are riding the waves with us, Illuvium in the last month is up 131%. These are all companies that we've been talking about for a while. Yes, sir.
No, never mind. It went away when you talk. Okay, it might have been just the way you were talking down. It sounded like your voice was waving.
I was
a bit.
like,
yeah. I think as you were down, it was kind of echoing, waving a little bit.
Sorry about that, folks. I gotta pick it up when I talk. My bad. Big O, in my opinion, Mike Tomlin is the best coach we have in football. Am I wrong? Andy Reid, but I mean, whatever, bro. You know what I mean? However you want to look at it. Andy Reid develops quarterbacks. So for me, he's more important than Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin develops teams, but he needs you to find him a quarterback, right? Andy Reid can find and develop the quarterback, and he develops coaches. He has a coaching tree that's also successful. So I am going to go Andy Reid right now. I'm going to give him the nod as the best coach in football. He does the things that Belichick can't do. He can win in different places. He can go to Super Bowl with different teams. He can go deep into the playoffs with different teams. He can develop quarterbacks. All of the things that Bill Belichick cannot do. So, and by the way, all of the things that also Mike Tomlin doesn't do. Doesn't have a coaching tree, has not gone somewhere else to win because he doesn't have to, but he hasn't proven that yet. So Andy Reid has. So I'll go Andy Reid first, bro, over Mike Tomlin. Love Mike Tomlin, but not over Andy Reid, especially in today's football when offense is everything, pretty much. So, no, Andy Reid, my brother. Let's see. Big O, I agree. Let's just make sure the owner doesn't get much TV time. Jayhawk, I can't argue with that one, my brother. That is, you are 1,000 outside. I should have thrown that caveat in there. It's a positive for the Dolphins as long as we keep Stephen Ross off the show. When you're right, dude. And you got to give people their due when they're right. And Jayhawk, you definitely pointed out something very important. The only guy that can F this up is Stephen Ross. He's the only guy that knows how to F everything up by opening his mouth and saying or doing something stupid. You are correct. We love you, Stephen, because, you're a good owner in the sense that you'll spend. But we don't want you opining or doing anything whatsoever. Just be a fan, waddle in the stands, and be a fan. That's all we want you to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Mateo, thank you for the love in the super chat. I feel we can run the table with our defense. It is playing well, my brother. And remember, donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And remember, you can make a Bitcoin donation, which, nothing warms my heart more, on this show than a Bitcoin donation. That you are like a friend for life for me when you send me a Bitcoin donation. That's all I got to say. That's it. Because that means you really, really, really care about me. It's like you're thinking of me big time. Brooklyn Rob says, let this sink in. We are very close to having Dable and Wink Martindale. I wonder if Dable took the job because he thought Daniel Jones was better than Tua. I don't know. Or did he take the job because he had more control over personnel, that he could influence what happened because here he wasn't going to be able to. I don't know. I can't. That's a question that I don't have an answer for. None of us do. Big O, we can have Stephen Ross on as long as it's signing the checks. Exactly. Just show Ross signing checks and then cut out right away. Our coach is a badass. Yes, he is. Andy Jackson. Crypto market should hit $3 trillion in 2024. Is he trying to get back on my good side? Is that what Andy Jackson's doing now? The 10 to 20 trillion estimates are not realistic. Is Andy Jackson trying to win me back over again by talking crypto? Finns need to win the next 4 games. Oh, that thing disappeared. Was it something you weren't proud of or something? I think I'm going to hold off on the Dolphins Hard Knocks until after the Super Bowl. I'd rather see how the food is made after I eat it. Really? No, Kevin. No, you want to watch it now, so you are watching the process of it, and it brings more meaning to what happens every week when you know what happened during that week. If you watch it months later, it won't have any effect on watching it the same way you do now because you're in the moment. I disagree with you. I think you want to watch it, dude. I think months later, it will not have the same meaning. You then have to piece and put yourself back into the moment, back into that week. And then, you know what I mean? Where right now you're going to kind of live it. I think you're doing a disservice to yourself by waiting for the offseason. The offseason should be the time where you watch it for a second time to kind of relive as much of a Super Bowl season, winning season for the Dolphins, because we all know that it's going to end with the Dolphins in the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. But then you go watch all that stuff after to recap a beautiful Super Bowl season. You start in the draft and you listen to all the idiots. In the off season, you go back and listen to the idiots that didn't know anything about Tua and all that kind of stuff. That's what you got to do, my man. You got to watch it live, baby. Big O, was the QAM Studios rundown in seedy? It depends on which ones. When we were in Sheridan, in the barn next to that park, Bucky Dent, right? I think it's called, right? Is that the Bucky Dent Park down in Sheridan off of all the way west? We were right next to that park. Yes, sir.
That's not Bucky Dent. Bucky Dent's down in Highland. Yeah.
What is it? Which is the one that's there? Way out west in Sheridan.
Piccolo?
Brian Piccolo. That's it. Brian Piccolo. So we were right next to it. And that was a shit show. It was basically a building with a trailer connected to it. And KISS and QAM were there. And it was a bug-infested, rat-infested hellhole. Okay. Then we moved to 441, right next to the Kentucky Fried Chicken. We were on 441 in about, let's say like 202nd, right? Off of 199. So we're 3 blocks north, about 202. And that building, it was a regular cheap-ass office building, and they converted it to studios. So the walls were, they weren't insulated. They weren't nothing. We went cheap because we were always cheap. And eventually it became bug infested because people ate all over the place. So there were roaches all over. Then we moved into the old Paxson building that I used to work at when I was at 940 Winds and Radio Acción. That building was off 441 and about 191st. Miami Gardens is 186, I think. So it was about 5 blocks off and just off of 441, right behind the cable company. And that was an old building. I like the building personally. It's a nice building, not enough parking. And the building, when I moved into that building when it was Paxson, it was a really nice building because it was modern and it was new. By the time QAM took over, it was already 25, 30 years old. It was run down, not kept up, and so the equipment was just outdated and all that. Like QAM was always cheap. And then I know they moved to a new building now, which they can't afford. They're losing their money. They want to sell all their buildings now and go to smaller buildings. But I never went to the new building, so I don't know what it looks like. But from what I'm hearing, they never really finished it. And the equipment is still not up to date. And, the engineers at QAM have to be magicians. Okay? Let me just tell you something. The people that are most overlooked in that station are the engineers. Okay? Those people, how they have kept that station going, considering that company doesn't provide them everything that they need. From bless you, rest in peace, Fix It Yelton, to George Corso, to Tree Crawford, to Triple S, to John Bryant. I'm trying to remember all the engineers' names. I know them all. They're all fantastic dudes. Those guys, man, they're given hangers. And, oh, yeah, you need an antenna. Here's a hanger. And then they've got to go make do with what they can. And it's a joke. It's a joke. It really is a joke. And I feel bad for the guys that are there, that are left. They do all a terrific job, the guys that are left, but the station's dog shit. All those people are just pulling checks. They're doing the best they can with very little resources. That station's garbage, bro. They don't do any reporting. They have no insight anymore. Guys are just doing shows and getting by and doing the best they can and doing what they got, but there's nothing there anymore, dude. There's no money. There's no effort. There's no nothing there, dude. Yeah, Tree is still there. I know. Yeah. Tree's still there. Triple S is still there, too. I'm pretty sure. I think John Bryan is still used every once in a while. So some of the guys are still there. I think it's George Corso's not there anymore. He's gone. I think he went to Clear Channel or whatever it's called now, iHeart. I think he went there. Big O, what did you think of Sharon Moore crying after the Michigan win? I thought it was pathetic. Seriously. What a joke. Give me a break. What you want? Big deal. Move on. Colts and Texans both have favorable schedules. That should get them 10 wins. Bills and Bengals. Colts 10 wins? God, I don't know, dude. That'll be impressive if they get 10 wins. Give him coach of the year if he gets 10 wins with that team. I was able to finally talk to my customer to try crypto, so he bought one Bitcoin a few weeks ago and to see how it goes. It's nice. Wow, he was able to just flop over one whole money for one Bitcoin. Damn, good for him, dude. QM has become into Barstool Sports. Well, I don't think they can go that edgy. The Bills have a really tough schedule after tonight's game. They can truly miss the playoffs. Look at the record of the AFC North teams. They might have 3 teams in the playoffs. Maybe. Big O, call me crazy, but I think the Broncos can beat the Bills tonight. Devin, brother, nothing about that statement is crazy. The Bills can lose to anybody. They're while they have talent, we know that, but they're kind of discombobulated right now. So, yeah, no, dude, of course. And Denver's actually, dare I say it, they're playing better the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, this is kind of a dangerous game for Buffalo. They can lose this game for sure. Yes. Will they? Probably not. I think they'll pull it off. But you think tomorrow when I sit here, I'm going to be shocked that they lost? Hey, by the way, did the Help me out there, Sean. Is Belichick fired? Because he lost yesterday. Is he fired? Because, Ben Volen thought that there could be a chance he could get fired.
Yeah, he was not left on the tarmac, so I don't believe so.
Ben Volen thought he could get fired. That was really, really stupid. That's a terrible, terrible take and an even worse report. Okay. That would be a terrible take, and it wasn't a take. It was even worse. It was a report. Okay? It was, and by the way, he can escape by saying, well, they're thinking about it. I didn't say we're going to do it for sure, because, this is what they do to kind of cover their asses. Brother, they weren't even thinking about it. Okay? All right? Whatever sources he has, they're not good. Because anybody will tell you with a brain, there's no way they fired Belichick in the middle of the season. He would have to be a pedophile. He would have to go hold up banks. He would have to have murdered somebody. He literally has to become a criminal for him to fire him. They had a guy committing murders around town, playing tight end for them. You don't get fired that easy in the NFL. I mean, and that was a stupid ass report. There was no way that was ever going to be the case. And you've got to be a fool to even believe that crap. By the way, Welton Rayom, we love talking about Jeff and Dan. They do an excellent job. They're in Hollywood, and they service all of South Florida. Anywhere you're listening to me, you can call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. The consultation is completely free. So you tell them what happened to you, and then they'll tell you if you have a case or not. And maybe you're dealing with bankruptcy, they can help you out. Condo damage, they can help you out. Homeowner property damage, they're there for you. Criminal defense, hey, something happens, and then you're really in trouble with the Patriots. You call Welton Rayom Criminal Defense. Business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, they do it all. Call Jeff right now, 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom. Lamar having issues closing out games going back to last year. Yeah, it's kind of his thing. You put him in a tight contest, you force him to have to beat you with his arm. That's usually what happens, Brooklyn Rob. I think that Bills coaches are in as much hot water, if not more, than Belichick at the end of the season. That's my hot take. You could be. True Fin Fan says Belichick fired in the middle of a season when he's been there for 20 plus years and has 6 rings. What a stupid fake report. That guy should be embarrassed. It's a terrible, but they don't do anything to you nowadays. They don't care if you report shit that's not even accurate. Let's see. Tobin at QAM reminds me of that meme with the Bugatti, and it's surrounded by at a trailer park. Yeah. He's a good dude, and he does an excellent job, and he's just working for a shit company. That's all. If Tobin was smart and ballsy, because it does take balls, you let that contract expire and get the hell out and go on your own. That's just me. But, it is what it is. Because he can do it. I know he can. I don't know if he knows he can do it. I don't know if he has enough confidence in himself that he can do it on his own, but he could. But it's up to him. Horrible pass by Lamar Jackson yesterday at the end of the game. Threw it right at the defender. Yeah, dude. He overthrew another guy that was wide open. It's a remedial passing game, dude. The people that talk about Lamar like MVP, they don't really watch him every week. They don't really watch the offense. It's a very basic offense, and it lives off the run. And it's just an offense that is a little bit more difficult to prepare for during the regular season. But it's not an offense that carries in the postseason. Running offenses just don't. You can talk, there are outliers because athletes are special sometimes. So yeah, Lamar will win an MVP, and so will Cam. Doesn't mean they're going to win Super Bowls because they're not accurate. And in the end, these teams are going to force you to beat them with the arm because they're going to limit what you can do running. And if you cannot pick people apart and all you're going to live off is a crossing route, okay, or a comeback, which is what he does, he doesn't throw the entire route tree. He could never run the offense that Miami has because he doesn't have the accuracy and he doesn't see through windows. So if you when you've got a power arm, and Herbert does this a lot, and so does Josh Allen, they don't really throw people open, right? And I use those guys because if I tell you Lamar or Cam, you think I'm only picking on a specific type of athlete when I am picking on all these guys that have a wicked arm. And they don't have anticipatory throws in their arsenal because they don't need it. They've never needed it since they were kids. So they live off the receiver making the break and then they throw. Whereas Montana or Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or Tua have to throw it before the break. So they're throwing to a spot to where the receiver is going to be. So it takes precision route running. This is the reason why Chad Johnson could not play with the Patriots. I don't know if you know that, but Chad Johnson lived off of ad lib in Cincinnati. When he went to New England, he couldn't find a spot on that team. Why? Because you have to run routes with precision. If it's an 8-yard in cut, you must make the cut at 8 yards, not 7, not 9. The ball's going to be at 8. If you're at 9, it's 3 feet short. If you're at 7, it's going to be 3 feet over you. So I hope you can jump high because you may not be able to catch it. And that's what happens with undisciplined route runners like Chad Johnson, like Des Bryant. They can't play in precision offenses like the Niners with Montana, like Tom Brady with the Patriots, like Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins. Doesn't matter what era, they are precision routes. They are practiced with precision, with timing. So these kind of guys never win. One day, one of them, they'll be an outlier one day, and then they'll tell you, see? And I'll tell you, no. But nobody wins. The guy that wins is the guy that can play from the pocket all the effing time. That's the guy that wins, not the guy that runs. The guy that plays from the pocket. He wins every single year in the NFL. It's never Tannehill Hill. And his game is different. He depends on the running game for him to survive. Whereas Lamar and Cam, they depend on the running game and their running in order to survive. You take the run out of them, they cannot play like Tom Brady. They cannot play like Tua Tagovailoa because they don't have the accuracy. So that's why this whole thing, I laugh every time with the whole Lamar stuff. Dorsey being fired at the end of the season, he will be the scapegoat. Or maybe we just overrated him, Eric. Why can't it be that? Why can't it be that he was carried in San Diego when he was with the Chargers and he was carried by Daboll and company here? Maybe Ken Dorsey isn't that good of a coach. They took the training wheels off. He's all by his lonesome. Guy ain't playing better. He can't even play like he was playing before under Dable. I disagree with you, Eric. I'm not ready to say that Ken Dorsey is underrated or overrated or anything. But I will say the jury's out on Ken Dorsey from here on out. What happened with Ken Dorsey is the whole South Florida love bullshit that we all come up with. But for the time being, I'm not giving Ken Dorsey a pass. Sorry, dude. No, maybe we were wrong about Ken Dorsey. That's what I'm going to say. Maybe we were wrong. Jury's out on Ken Dorsey until he shows me better on his own. Because, it's a lot different when you're working at a radio station. You can hide inside the radio station. You maybe you don't even do any commercials. They don't sell any live spots for you. You don't break any news. You don't do anything. You just kind of work, but you live off of the entire umbrella of the station. But you're really not a cog in the station. You're just kind of riding the coattails of the station. And then you go out on your own. You find out you can't go on your own because you weren't really a cog. So I'm not sure if Ken Dorsey's a cog yet. I've seen those kind of people at radio stations that they don't prove anything and they don't carry anything. They don't make any difference. And when they leave, they can't go on their own either. And that's because they were never a cog. So I'm not sure about Ken Dorsey anymore. Why should I be? What's he shown me without him being the second guy in line when they're having success, not the guy when they're having success? He wasn't the guy in the Chargers, and he hasn't been the guy with the Bills until the last 2 years, and they haven't been very impressive. So maybe Ken Dorsey's not as good as you and I thought he was. That's what some of you need to think of. Instead of being the Homer Kane guy thinking that everything Miami is fantastic. Because remember, Dalvin Cook will put this team over the top. Let's see. Those are the upcoming Dolphin QB opponents. Aiden O'Connell, Zach Wilson, Sam Howell, Will Levis, Zach Wilson, or Aaron Rodgers. Well, Aaron Rodgers not going to play. Sam Howell's not bad, bro. He's all right. He's got a little something to him. He might be a decent quarterback in the NFL. I'm not ready to give up on Aiden O'Connell, nothing. Zach Wilson, nothing. Will Levis, he's got some skill sets too. Still very green. So I don't know. But Sam and Will, I'll give them I'm not ready to say that they're not the guys anymore, but they still have something. Oh, God, not more 100 times better than Jarvis Landry. My God, it's not even close. Bills' window closed, it feels. Yes, I agree, Chad. I agree that their window closed. They're still pretty decent, but they're not doing anything this year. You're right. It's closed. I got us beating the Bills week 18. I like it. Dorsey is not a good OC. Well, that's what he's showing right now. Merman, I already talked about it, my brother. You can go back and check it out and all that. I've talked enough about the Hard Knocks stuff. Let's see what we got here. Let me get to a little music and entertainment here. Why don't we do that? First of all, let's start off with birthdays on November 13th. Today, let's see. Jimmy Kimmel is 56 years old. It's funny how he kills Trump every day on his show. Whoopi Goldberg is 68. Gerard Butler is 54. Monique Coleman, TV actress, is 43. Emma Raducanu, tennis player, is 21. Let's see. Steve Zahn, movie actress, 56. Joe Mantegna is 76. Meta World Peace is 44. Ron Artest, that is. Let's see who else. YouTube and TikTok stars. So many. Neil Flynn, TV actor, 63. Those are the folks celebrating birthdays today. Let's go to music history on today's date. In 1990, on this date, Temple of the Dog played their only show before 2016. It took place at Seattle's Off-Ramp. In 1971, Santana's third album, Santana 3, topped the charts. In 76, Rod Stewart started an 8-week run at number 1 on the singles charts with Tonight's the Night. Everything's gonna be all right. It was Rod's second U.S. number 1 and made it to number 5 in the UK before being banned by many radio stations due to the song being about seduction of a virgin. In 82, Men at Work started a 15-week run at the number 1 spot on the album charts with their debut effort, Business as Usual. In 81, U2 kicked off a 23-date North American tour in Albany, New York. In 2012, Soundgarden released King Animal, their first album in 16 years. And that, my friends, is what happened today in music history. And by the way, tomorrow I will be at Revolution Live with the wife. Phoenix is there. It is sold out. So we will be there. Woo! Ha! Hallelujah! All right? So we'll be there jamming with the little Phoenix. I'm a big Phoenix guy. Pink is at the Kaseya Center tomorrow also. Wednesday, she'll be at the Amerant Bank Arena. So she'll do a little Dade and then a little Broward. Friday, it's freestyle for all, baby. Can somebody help me out here on this one? Brenda K. Star, I know. Lisa, George Lamont, I know. TKA, I know. Who the hell is Amber? What does Amber? I don't remember Amber. Or maybe I do and I don't remember. I know the song, but I don't know her. And she's bigger than Brenda K. Star? She had a bigger song than Love on a Two-Way Street? She was bigger than Lisa? Really? Can you feel the beat? Head to toe? TKA? One Way Love? Come on. Who is this Amber? What the hell is Amber? Anyway, Saturday, if you want to laugh, Anthony Jeselnik is at the Hard Rock Live. Walter Trout. Talk about a legend. He's at the Funky Biscuit on Saturday. And Saturday, I will be with the wife again at the Iron Maidens at the Piper's Pub in Pompano. So the ladies jamming Iron Maiden. It's a women's group. They're called the Iron Maidens. And you can't see it here, but Nita Strauss used to be part of the Iron Maidens back in the day. And then next Tuesday at the Kaseya Center is Doja Cat. And next Friday is Mark Anthony at the Kaseya Center. Yes, sir.
She sung This Is Your Night. Amber did.
Wow.
I didn't remember it until I played you probably remember if you hear, I'm going to play just the beginning of it. Here it is.
Because then we're going to get tagged.
We're not going to get tagged for 5 seconds.
Okay.
Trust me. Once you hear the beginning of it, you'll realize what it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I remember that.
Amber. I guess that's the Amber that came up for Amber Freestyle. So I'm hoping that's the same one.
Okay. She was huge for a while, says Green Lion. No Johnny O there. No. Okay. She's bigger than Lisa. Lisa had some hits, dude. All right. That was a hit, but I don't know, bigger than Lisa. Oh, well. Whatever. I know that Lisa's now with Cult Jam. You can really, it's like you could easily replace Cult Jam. It was really more about Lisa. Just get a guy with a heavy set voice to sing some of the parts that you need in the Lisa songs. And it reminds me of the days of, I'm going to lose so many of you. Less than 1% of you are going to know what the hell I'm talking about. It's like the days of Bananarama and Fun Boy 3. Like, Bananarama really didn't need Fun Boy 3. I know I lost most of you, which most of you have no idea what I'm talking about. But kind of the same thing. There's too much shit in my head. It's just useless crap that comes out of my head that I have no idea why it sticks there. But like, really, who's going to come up with a Bananarama Fun Boy 3 reference for you? Something's wrong with me. You know, I'm using the North Sea as an example for Mario Cristobal's coaching. There's something wrong with me. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with me. There's no doubt about that. By the way, it's 12:03. 2 minutes. Andy Jackson, you'll hate it. 2 minutes of spots here. Hour number 3 is next.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Hour number 3 of the program. All right. Let's see what we have there. Chris Cornell is an absolute legend. He left us so much amazing music with Soundgarden, Audio Slave, and his solo work. Yes. Way too early, man. Depression it's a serious thing, man. You know, and it's sad how we lost Michael Hutchins that way too. Singer for In Excess. We've lost several people that way, and I'm sure friends and family members and people you know. And it's that mental fight is it's real. And some of us are better at compartmentalizing this kind of stuff. Some of us are better at dealing with negativity and bad news and all that. And some of us aren't. And we just have to do a better job of listening to each other. You know what I mean? And so if you do have somebody, a friend, a family member, that needs, a shoulder to cry on or somebody just to listen to them, make sure you do that if you can. Sometimes those people may feel like they don't have somebody to go to. We've always got to make sure that we've got each other, somehow or some way, man. So I always tell you guys when we talk about politics and have fun with it, some of you don't have fun with it because you've chosen a side. And that's why I tell you choose Americans, not Democrats or Republicans. We got to look out for each other, and that's not what we're doing at times. And that's what we should be doing. Out for each other, not looking out for somebody that is of my group, my religion, my political stance, my color, my nationality, my sexuality. Yeah, that's just not productive, So when we think of people like that, Chris Cornell and Michael Hutchins, or a friend of yours or a family member, it's a serious thing. And some of us don't take it as serious because we're better at dealing with adversity than others. But we have to understand that we're not all the same. We're not all tall. We're not all short. We're not all skinny. We're not all fat. We're not all Catholic. We're not all Protestant. We're not all Jewish. We're not all white, black, yellow, red, green, purple, straight, gay, whatever. Difference of everything. We just have to be more accepting of everything, It is what it is, man. What else do we have here? Anthony Jeselnik. I've spent the past 2 years looking for my ex-girlfriend's killer, but no one will do it. He's so awesome. Now his comedy, you have to have you have to have a little edge to you accepting your comedy, cold and cruel and, every extreme possible. Don't go see Anthony Jeselnik if you're a person that gets bothered by things that people say. He is definitely not the guy you want to go see. I love Jeselnik. I think he's awesome. Eddie Lepp says, maybe your summers were too cruel, oh. Nyborg says, I've heard of Bananarama, but not Fun Boy 3. Yeah. It's not the way that you do it or something like that. Whatever. Fun Boy 3 is in that song. And Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro's Waiting. I think Fun Boy is also singing some backups in that song too, if I'm correct. So the early Bananarama had Fun Boy 3 in it. And then eventually Bananarama said, get out of here. We don't need you. And they went on to have all kinds of tons of hits. Brett Dodger says, I'm almost ashamed to admit I know Bananarama. Yeah, but if you know Fun Boy 3, then you're in. Then you're in. Okay? That's when you've really gone to the lowest depths and joining me, that you admit you know Fun Boy 3. Ice cream desserts beat DQ hot dogs. I would agree with that. I wish DQ would partner with O and become a sponsor. Oh, man. Thank you, Big O, for putting the spotlight on depression. Been battling that demon since age 12. Hang in there, my brother. I know it's not easy. What we have to do is understand. Okay? Even if we can't comprehend. That's the important part, Nyborg. Because I can't comprehend. I don't know what it's like for people that deal with constant depression. I've only been depressed and then I get out of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm that guy that I don't like to live in the negativity. I then find something to, boom, get out. Ask Sean. He and I run into roadblocks all the time. I don't dwell on this shit. Ask him. He knows. I don't dwell on it. I go, okay, now let's figure out another way. Let's get it done. Let's move on. But not everybody's like that. And so a lot of people may be like me, right? And then there's people like me that don't want to understand what it's like for somebody that's not like you. But wait a minute, dude. I deal with, how come you can't? It's different. We're wired different. It's like we make a big thing of the stupid, what's it called? The vaccine. Made a big political deal of, it's a vaccine, bro. Big deal. You take the vaccine and that's it. You don't want to take it, don't take it, whatever. That's your problem. Fine. It's just a vaccine. You take it, so you try to avoid it. That's all. Avoid the measles, avoid the chicken pox, avoid malaria, avoid whatever, avoid the flu, doesn't mean it's a sure thing, but it helps. That's all it is. No big deal. Nothing to get crazy about. And we have to have more understanding that people are wired differently. Immune systems are wired differently. Just because it doesn't affect you, it could affect somebody else completely differently, which is exactly what happened with COVID. Some people are still affected to it this day. And that's scary shit, But we have to have a little bit more understanding that people are different. That's all. Kaja Gugu is at the apex of who we shouldn't remember. That's a great song, dude. That's a great bass line. Are you kidding me? In fact, I heard Kaja Gugu recently. Those of us that went to see Culture Club, Berlin, and Howard Jones. Well, Howard the bass player was the lead guy from Kajagoogoo, not Lamal the singer, but it was the bass player, the guy with the blonde hair, and then the bass. He wrote Too Shy, so they played it that day a couple months ago over at in West Palm Beach. Those of you that went, and I thought Howard Jones actually was the best out of the three acts. To be quite honest, he had a full band. He sounded great. They were awesome, and they did Too Shy from Kajagoogoo because I'm trying to remember the bassist's name, but I can't remember it at the moment. But he was there, and so they played it. It was cool. Big O, did you ever hear of a group called Flesh for Lulu? No. Flesh for Lulu. I'm going to write it down, and I'll look it up. I'll look it up later on. I'll watch it on YouTube. Thank you. The Real 0305 sends in a super chat. He says, well, we ever seen Mike McDaniel and Mark Anthony together? There's a little similarities. By the way, I'm not a Mark Anthony fan. I'm not like really into his music at all. But anyone and everyone that's ever been to his concert will tell you got to go to his show because apparently he puts on one massive show. Apparently he does a great job. Okay? So don't know much about Mark Anthony, but everybody that goes to his concerts will swear by the guy. Like I'm a big concert guy, so people that go see Mark Anthony and then they know me, and then that conversation comes up, they'll tell me, oh, you go to so many concerts. You should go to Mark Anthony, bro. He puts on one hell of a show. The band, the sound, everything. It is fantastic. Everybody tells me that. So, just in case, just so you'll know, I've only heard great things, not good things. I've only heard great things about a Mark Anthony concert. Orlando, you sounded like you've been sad, which is normal. Depressed is sad for me, no reason. No, is sad for no reason. Right, exactly. Right. You are 1,000% right. I have been sad. Yes. Yes. You are correct. Depression is a little bit different. Right. Yeah. That Red Skeleton. Oh no, the vaccine conversation. Yeah, that's a problem. That's the attitude. Robert De Maria, Orlando and Dolphins Nation, having the Lord Jesus Christ on my side is being a blessing from the time I let him take control of my life. I praise the Lord, and your soul will be healed. There you go, Robert. Thank you. Stevie B, rapid recovery wants. Chase Claypool needs the ball more. You could easily be our third wide receiver, big physical. It's not even a discussion. I talked about it last week. You can go back and check it out. But yeah, I talked about it. He should be a bigger part. I don't know why they haven't figured out a small package of plays and then just expand from that every week. That's all. That's what I would do with him. Howard Jones is a phenomenal pianist. Phenomenal musician, period. Flesh for Lulu was cool. 80s goth band. Okay. I'll check it out. Maybe I know a song and I didn't realize it because I used to go to Fire and Ice all the time. So I would not be surprised if I know a song from them and then I just didn't put one and one together. Because if you're talking about those days in goth, then we're talking from Skinny Puppy to Dominion to, not Dominion, Sisters of Mercy. They sing Dominion. Sisters of Mercy and Nitzer Ebb and, stuff like that. Okay. The old ministry, not this ministry now, because Jesus Christ, what a difference from the ministry I grew up with to the ministry now. Like, I don't like this ministry. I like the old ministry. Let's see. The worst part of being depressed and in your own head, it's that it's up to you to recognize it and get yourself out. The mind is a powerful thing. Amen? Amen. Dude, Anthony Schwartz is a threat to win the race against Tyreek. Let's see. Oh, who is less deserving? Belichick is the greatest NFL coach or T-Rex in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Wow. T-Rex. And they just snuck in Kate Bush, who has one song and got in because Stranger Things made her song blow up. Kate Bush, are you serious? Big O, are you going to be anywhere for the upcoming game? Maybe you've said it. Yeah, Sunday we'll be at Walk-Ons. Sunday we're at Walk-Ons. After that, well, we have another one in December for Walk-Ons, which is, but we're trying to cut a deal with another place now. Been at it for a bit here. Looks like
the
it was
31st against the Ravens.
How's that?
The 31st against the Ravens.
That's it. There you go. He knows what he's talking about. Baltimore, the 31st. So that's the next time. New Year's Eve. We'll be at Walk-Ons. Let's see. What else do we have? Let's go around the NFL a little bit here. First of all, Colts beat the Pats 10-6. So are they firing Belichick? I'm wondering. I'm waiting for that. Mac Jones got benched for Zappy, and Bailey ended up getting zapped with an interception, which then again led to Belichick holding his head, and it's just one of those classic moments that we'll never forget. Telling you, got to make it I'm going to make that an NFT. I am. Texans beat the Bengals 30-7. CJ Stroud, the legend of CJ Stroud is just growing. I mean, Burrow threw 2 interceptions. He played all right, but then he made some brutal mistakes. But Stroud, dude, ran in a touchdown, threw a touchdown, also threw an interception. But that kid, man. And FAU's own Devin Singletary, 30 rushes yesterday. For what's considered a finesse runner, he was running really tough yesterday. 150 yards and a touchdown on 30 rushes. Mad props to the Texans, dude. I mean, DeMeco Ryans, the drafting of Stroud. Wow. Texans have turned this thing around. Good for them. Happy for them, actually, because those Texans fans have gone through hell. Niners, they handled the Jags with no problem. Jags dropped to 6-3. Niners improved to 6-3. Purdy was dead on accurate and making great decisions yesterday. 19 of 26, 296, 3 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence threw 2 interceptions. That Niners defense is a bitch, dude. Man, they came to play yesterday. They were all over them. Browns over the Ravens, 33-31. Watson, 213 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Lamar was just a sizzling 13 of 23 for 223, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Baltimore drops to 7-3. Cleveland improves to 6-3. Lamar still an MVP for you guys? What a joke. Lions over the Chargers, 41-38. That was a fun game. Detroit outlasted them. They improved to 7-2. And the great Justin Herbert drops to 4-5. You kind of knew he would fall short. But he put up some great stats. Boy, they can't wait to talk him up on television. Right? I know he's got a wicked arm, bro. But it's still about winning. Anyway, Raiders over the Jets, 16-12. Zach Wilson is a special kind of suck. Jets are 4-5. Raiders are 5-5 after beating up on the 2 New York teams the last 2 weeks. And then the Cards defeated the Falcons 25-23. Kyler Murray, 19 of 32, 249 yards and an interception. No touchdowns. He didn't play too bad, but his stats are always pedestrian. His passing stats they won, so that's good for them, but his stats are always pedestrian, if you notice it. It's truly amazing. It really is. Yeah, we're done with this one. So that's your look around the NFL. Again, Dolphins favored by 10. Over and under is 47.5. And by the way, the Stroud kid, after the game, he said, Joe Burrow's one of my favorite quarterbacks, and it was an honor playing against him. So CJ Stroud is not only a player, but he's also a gentleman. He's also a true pro. And he but he is automatically likable. I mean, you just watch that press conference, and there's no way you can walk away from not liking CJ Stroud. How he carries himself, how he plays, everything. They hit on the kid, period. It was a 100% perfect pick and an absolute home run, dude. That ball is screaming out of the ballpark. Impressive. Everything about that kid is impressive. Really like what I'm seeing from him overall. Tyreek Hill. And I think Tyreek Hill needs to learn how to pick and choose his battles, because sometimes you're going to pick a battle that is not worth it, and it's only going to make you look bad, and in this case, pretty ignorant. Okay? So Tyreek Hill yesterday tweets out after the Browns and Deshaun Watson win, right? He puts out a tweet that says, all this Deshaun Watson slander quiet today, with like a face questioning it. And I want to tell Tyreek Hill, I don't think you ever want to defend somebody who's been accused of sexually assaulting so many women. And Tyreek, if you haven't figured it out, which I'm questioning your intelligence right now, okay? If you don't know what a guilty person kind of looks like, you may want to look again at Deshaun Watson over the last 2 years. He acts and carries himself as guilty as it gets. Okay? But the he said, she said stuff is hard to prove. But when it's this many women, there's a problem. It's a huge problem. Okay? And nobody is ordering masseuses on IG. Masseuses are professional human beings. You can actually get them publicly. You don't have to go into DMs or any of the other wherever places that people get those kind of massage people, not therapists. So, I saw that tweet, and, that was one that it's like, yo, Tyreek, you've had enough bad PR this year with your incident in the marina. You got away with enough as it is already with the incident in the marina. Okay? When you play with fire and you knew you played with fire, you probably don't want to get near the fire again. And right now, by trying to defend Deshaun Watson, you're playing with fire once again. So, Tyreek, I'm not sure you want to go down this path and defend that thing called Deshaun Watson. Okay? It's not a winning situation for you, my man. And just because he won doesn't mean that most of us think he's a freaking lowlife scumbag that deserves to be in jail. But he got away with it because he's famous and he has money, and because these women probably didn't get any pictures or real recordings of it. Because in the end, the he said, she said stuff is never going to fly unless there's actual physical evidence that goes with it. But this is not the fight you want to have, Tyreek. This is not the guy you want to defend. Just saying. I saw that this weekend, and I thought, not a good idea. In fact, it's an absolutely shitty idea on his part. So, you do what you want, my brother, but you're gonna find your own world of trouble. Sometimes Tyreek needs to close his mouth and open his ears. Yes. Browns won despite Watson's poor throw. Yes. My God. That's the other thing. You can tell Tyreek. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Eric, because I watched the game. I had a lot of money on the Browns. And they came through for me because I got a lot of points. But he missed so many. He can't throw a deep ball anymore. Deshaun Watson literally cannot throw a deep ball anymore. Okay? Like, I was watching, and I was like, wow, this is a shell of the guy I used to watch. The guy I used to watch used to make big plays in big moments, like, all the time. And his accuracy is so bad. I can tell Eric actually watched the game yesterday because he's right. They won in spite of him, not because of him. He's 1,000% right on that. And Tyreek obviously didn't watch the game. He was probably screwing around playing video games or playing with his kids or whatever. But, you know, when you put out that stupid-ass tweet, yeah, you didn't watch the game. Forget even watching the game. The fact that you're even defending that scumbag, I saw that. I'm like, Tyreek, what's wrong with you? Why do you even want to be associated with this guy? Why do you even want to be in the same sentence with this guy? Now you're in stories all over the place with the guy. I don't get it, bro. I don't get that. Let's see. I expect comments like that from Tyreek. He just doesn't think before talking, I guess. He needs to just stay in his lane. Watson and Kraft go to the same massage parlor. The Bills' window's already shut. Tonight's game will prove that. You know, Finn's rule, I'm with you there. I think most of us think the same thing, that Bills' window has closed because they're not better than Cincinnati. Right there. They're not better than Kansas City. So they're certainly not beating those teams. So, yeah, I'm with you there. No doubt. Be liked on your actions, not words. There you go. Amari Cooper ran wide open several times, but Watson was incapable of hitting him. I know. It was bad, dude. It was bad. He just does not look good at all. All right, I am out of here. I appreciate all of you out there, as always. Thank you for sending in a super chat. I'll remember, whenever you're listening to the show, you can send in a Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And remember, you can make a Bitcoin donation. All right, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. We thank Sean Stanley, as always, getting it done. We will see you all tomorrow, same time, Same place. Same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.